and pick in some more, probably get a pen and a paper if need be, especially at this point when waste is becoming a problem across the global fraternity. But there's reason to smile because we have people who have been up and down trying to research, trying to understand the environment so they can offer us solutions as to how we can manage our waste, how we can recycle, how we can get to dissolve them or dispose them to a point where they will not be a health hazard. And having this conversation with me this morning is Daniel Wanjuki, who's the CEO EcoSave Africa. Daniel is an environmental scientist. And yes, he says he's done lots and lots of research in regards to that. And this indeed has paid in a way because he also comes along with a product that he says has been very helpful to us dealing with waste today. How do they work with government is one of the things that we'll also love to know, and whether indeed we get to understand the fact that our future is certainly secured from the health hazards that come along with waste. Karibu sana. Keep interacting with us. Hashtag Morning Cafe at Linda_Lela TV47KE. Ask those questions and Daniel will be here to answer them. So Daniel, thank you so much for finding time to be with us. And our biggest question then would be waste management, and just why is it important in the first place?
Thank you. Linda, the whole purpose of us being in this world is to progress and raise our children and leave them to continue that the baton. It's a genetic baton.
Yes.
And so if whatever we do today makes it impossible for our children to survive, we will have failed. And so waste management is very important in that if we are able to reduce that impact of our activities, whatever it is, we drive cars, we do industrial development, if that activity actually compromises the ability of the generations to come to cope, then we have failed. And that makes waste management a very crucial part of our existence. We've called ourselves names as not very good at nurturing nature. And we've been warned about the consequences. But for a long time, about 200 years now, during the industrialization, we have not given a listening to nature. And it seems nature has come back to haunt us. Because when you think of even the current situation, COVID, what could it be that allowed this small virus to come so close to humans? And because it's always been existing. It's only that God had separated us from that by creating several barriers. The farthest you go is Karura Forest for a walk. You don't go to the Himalayas where the ice is melting. If you do that and the ice is melting and we're getting into contact with fossils that are more than 1,000 years old in the what we call the permafrost. Those carcasses might have died of a COVID incident. And so we are getting too close to nature, the bad side of nature, that ends up affecting us. And that's how we feel. If you could protect the environment from destruction, we prevent the melting of ice, we call it permafrost, we will have protected ourselves from getting into contact with those pathogens that were there in the years ago. And so we could now live in this world like the Eden that God wanted us to be in.
Indeed, pollution is one thing that we struggle with up until today. And I'd want to believe that pollution has got everything to do with poor, waste management and all that. And we've been talking about, burning of plastics, across the globe. We've been talking about the climate. We still have, we push and pull in regards to how we can, evidently manage this to a point where it will be helpful just for us, and not necessarily just for us, but like you rightfully put it, for generations to come. And out of this, there's been lots of talks on recycling and all that and waste management. I want to believe that there are numerous ways and forms of waste management. Which one in particular do you focus on, or you do the general aspect?
By the nature of my science, the science I pursue, I am an expert in wastewater management.
Okay.
Wastewater isn't just what flows out of your kitchen sink.
Yes.
Actually, it could be part of industrial process.
Okay.
It could be a slaughterhouse waste. It could be anything that has more than 30% liquid content. We consider to be liquid waste.
Yeah.
And it therefore touches a lot on almost everything we do.
Yes.
Because other than the gases, which we are actually also addressing, the liquid waste is what is getting into our rivers.
Yeah.
Polluting our rivers and turning them into toxic rivers.
Right.
Liquid waste will be found in dump sites because of what called the leachate.
Yes.
The material that water that flows out of the decomposing material, that is part of our specialization.
Okay.
But liquid waste may just be an indication of what we are making money from.
Yeah.
But I share an organization called the Public-Private Partnership in Waste Management,
yes,
which is a national body, and it's domiciled at NEMA.
Right.
And that one covers all materials, all waste.
Just how much is being done down there? Because, well, we know NEMA has been in existence today. Up until date, we've been struggling with, the pollution across the city, so to speak, let alone going to, the rural areas and other counties. We talk of our beloved Nairobi river, suffering so much pollution for that matter. I mean, just how much within this special, agreement that is there between you, as private partners and the government, what is being done towards saving that and, just dealing with waste across the city?
There's a lot that's being done. To start with, we have a very elaborate law that governs how waste should be handled. All right. We are not lacking in policy. Okay. We have one of the best policies in waste management, and we've been here to have led the world in the ban of plastic paper, single-use plastic. So Kenya is actually an example to other countries, including the West. Yeah. It's not just in Africa. So in Kenya, as well, fortunately, we have the United Nations Environment Program office in Nairobi, the world over. The headquarters are in Nairobi. In Nairobi. So we can't go wrong. We can. We are in the kitchen. We are the people who are cooking those policies for the world. Yes. So we shouldn't be the person suffering the current situation we have. Are you proud of what we've done so far? Yeah. So having that in mind, we have failed as a nation in adopting those technologies that could help us push forward, keep our rivers clean, keep our air clean, because God has given us a very good environment here in Nairobi. Every day we get a new replenishment of air from the Indian Ocean. Right. So why should we be having pollution? Since nobody gives us pollution from the eastern side, we get very clean air every day. We shouldn't have a situation where Nairobi residents are suffering from pollution. We have good weather, we have very nice vegetation around Nairobi that should give us very clean air. But what stops us from adopting some of these policies, like you have said, that we have all this that is good, but we still have fallen short? In numerous occasions, we've talked about the public-private partnership. Do you suppose that there's proper support from the government? Well, at least you are lucky to work with NEMA, but there are numerous people out there who are coming up with innovations that could be instrumental, but probably do not have the space. Do you think more needs to be done so that the government can get to work with the private sectors, borrow the brains of people who are on this other side, just so we are able to address this? That's true. We have not really embraced the technologies. Yeah. And our industries are learning on parallel to what should be done. Yes. We have associations like the Kenya Association of Manufacturers. Yes. Who are so strict on what they want their members to do, and they don't open up the space for more discussion. Yeah. So long as, Linda, you are learning the business in the proper way, but your competitor is learning the wrong way, you'll never compete. Right. And you'll be punished for adopting the green technologies. So here in Kenya, we failed to make it a must. Yeah. We should actually, it's not, and I wish I could adopt this. No. It should be a must. We failed in basic things like, just banning plastic in totality. Exactly. We whereas we have policies and very punitive measures against plastic paper bag, single-use plastic paper bag, we still have it. We have policies on not allowing plastic single-use bottles, disposable bottles in the parks. But why in the parks? Well, out here, we are the ones suffering the consequence. Our livers are blocked. So it's something we could even discuss as a nation and say, since we are the world's biggest manufacturer of or exporters of soda ash, and soda ash is what's used to make grass, this grass.
Yes.
Why would you be doing plastic yet we don't have petroleum as such? We don't have heavy resources for this petroleum product. Yet in the years before, I'm of the age that didn't have plastic when we were growing up, in terms of bottles, those containers, the single-use plastic. So why have we made it so, like, this plastic has to be with us? With us, yes. That we can't do away with it. It's just, we've not really focused on the challenge that we are facing. Yeah. And if you think of the last 2 months, we should have had our short rains. We have not had the rains. We are going to have a drought next year. As early as January, vegetables from Nyandarua will not be coming to the market. Yes. Because they have had a dry spell. And going to April, we are not guaranteed of getting the rains. Yeah. So we've been postponing this one because it looks like a small problem that affects the Europeans or people in the temperate area where the ice and the snow may come or not come. But it will come down to us. But here, we are threatened with the lack of food. We are threatened with, even today, at 9 in the morning, it's so hot, you have to take off your jacket. Climatic changes and global warming. That's global warming. And that's why in our research on waste management, we came up with a product that eliminates methane gas as one of the contributors to global warming. Before we get to that, because we will get to that, and you know, you scare us a lot, but then again, I'm like, you know, the person who has the hope and the answers to these, so at least there's some level of hope in how we're going to deal with this. Then that brings me to the aspect of wanting to understand what then is the importance of the 3 things that I'm going to mention, or the difference or the significance of the 3 things. One, that is waste management, waste disposal, and recycling. And which would be the best option of, you know, just dealing with the waste that we have today? Thank you. The waste management is any activity you undertake to handle waste without even qualifying it as a good or bad thing. Bad. All right. If you pick your waste from your house and drop it somewhere along the Ojiji Road, and you dispose it into a dustbin, or even in the trench, you are trying, in your mind, you are trying to manage waste. But that is not the correct way to do it. We could think of a better way of waste management, which includes segregation of waste at your house. The vegetables, the nice packaging for the pizza shouldn't go together. Yes. Because someone may require the paper that makes the packaging for pizza. But your apple peels and banana peels should actually be composted to make something good for your garden. Okay. So, and that, if at the worst case scenario, at the county level, vegetable material should actually be picked, composted, and taken back to Nyandara or Kisii, where we get bananas from. Okay. That is now waste management. When you come to recycling, the aspect of the green economy now, we've seen that waste is not a waste. We shouldn't waste our waste as it is. If you could segregate our plastics, take them back for recycling. Recycling, okay. Then we are going to create an economy for someone. Okay. He can earn from that process. If you get wood, we can use it to make desks for school kids, and so we're actually giving life to that product. We are not wasting. Okay. We are actually conserving the environment because we are not going for fresh materials like plastic. You are not going for fresh materials to make a bucket. Okay. You are actually recycling what is in the environment. You are not going for fresh timber from the forest to make a desk. You are actually using what has been discarded from a building site. That is now waste management with a view for sustainability. And that's what we are calling the green economy.
Okay.
When you talk about recycling, many people stop at reusing that product.
Okay.
But you should think of, number one, if you could refuse to use that, to take that bottle, and instead use the glass. I had the option of taking a bottle of water, bottled water, and putting on my desk. But this glass could be used 1,000 times, and it has very little carbon print. It does not pollute. It is something that we can produce here in Kenya, because we are the world producers of such materials, soda ash, sand, and energies, all that goes into making this.
Okay.
And it doesn't pollute as much because of the ability to use it. Then you could talk about what we call recycling now, reusing this glass again to make another glass. That's now recycling. We could talk of ability to give this product another life in another form. Okay. You could use this one to crush it and use it for paving roads, making road pavement. Those are the options we have. And the aim is to ensure that the value of this product does not go to waste in a dump site.
And we do not harm ourselves. Yes.
And that way we are going to have sustainability. Sustainability is ability to continuously extract materials and get value out of them, and you don't compromise the ability of our generations to come in accessing those resources.
That then would be on the bigger picture, but at the level of home, at a personal level, at a local level, it is important that we also are, privy to some of the things that we need to do to protect ourselves, for instance, and some of the things that we need to do to, able away the struggles that we have, especially back at home. And most of the people will tell you home setups, the rural homes, they have pit latrines and all that. Some of them will tell you they have no places to go and dispose some of these things. And we have our lorries that move around, picking garbage and all that. Sometimes I ask myself, where do they take it? Look at Dandora dump site. It is terrible. It is a terrible affair down there. So at the home setup, and even as we look at how best we can deal with our septic tanks, how we can deal with the lagoons, pit latrines and all that, and just to deal with the organic waste that come along with that.
Thank you. In the science of waste management, if you are able to deal with that waste as soon as it's generated, it is easy to handle. Pills from your kitchen, you hold them, you put them in a flower pot easily. But if you find that material somewhere on the roadside, you don't want to touch it. You don't know, because you don't know who else has touched it.
Yes.
So the best place to do waste management is in the household, in the smallest unit possible, the source of that waste. And that's why we are experts in on-site waste management. We don't want to transport waste to your neighbor's place or a few kilometers away, because by the time you are doing that, it is gathering, it's deteriorating in nature, and it is no longer as friendly as if it was managed in your household. So you've come up with a technology that manages your waste. If you have a small place, you can use a bucket. You can compost your organics. That is the vegetable material from your house. Garden waste, that is what you cut off when you trim your fence. All that material can be composed, and it's clean. You actually eat a fruit from that because nothing weird has come into it. All these are resources that you actually cannot buy in a supermarket, or you cannot even buy from an agrovet, because nutrients that are found in your waste, well handled, exceed 17 minerals. But when you go to a handware or an agrovet, you normally buy 3 or so minerals like DAP, CAN, and such. So you are able to do waste treatment at your compound in the best way possible. The other part is the organic material from your septic, from your toilet and bathroom. We've come up with a technology that allows you to treat that wastewater by introduction of biological material. Number one, it bypasses the methane forming step. And by so doing, you're protecting the environment. Then the water that comes out of that process is clean water. You can use it for greening
Or not drinking.
Not drinking, not drinking.
Yes, you can. Having in the garden, well, fair enough.
But fair, if you think of the amount of water you are receiving as Nairobi.
Yes.
We're receiving about 560 million liters per day. But midnight, that is waste, and we have to get more from Dakaine and Sasumua.
Okay.
But part of that 560 million liters
can be
recycled, can be recovered, given another life before it goes to the livers.
Okay.
But the approach that we have had in the past is that once you flush the toilets, you forget about it. Your visitor, your guest, who was just here, the MP for Dandora, tells me the place is so nice. People put very nice buildings. He just told me.
Okay.
But the place smells.
Yes.
If we can be able to remove that bad smell from that site, we will make that place livable. And we could even achieve that dream of doing a big stadium there, bigger than our stadium. But is it possible with the kind of approach you have given this waste? No. So that's what we are talking about, on-site waste management with a view of recovering resources and making the environment clean. And that's what EcoSave does, and that's what I promote as a businessman.
And so when I was told this, I was curious. I really wanted to see what is this one thing that, you just pour on your waste and boom, magic happens. But I am afraid it's evident that you didn't carry any of the products. But at least I see something that is worth...
It's a single-cell microorganism. A microorganism we know by name.
Okay.
It's not a mixture of several stuff. It's just one that we've grown in our compound. We've created billions and billions of cells in a single centimeter cubed.
Okay.
And those bacteria, when you put them to waste, they just go for the waste.
Okay.
This is not something new. Nature has always handled waste in that manner.
Okay.
People who have gone before us, before we invented graves and coffins, have just been broken down by bacteria and they disappeared.
Yes.
Okay, think of people, think of animals in the national park.
Right.
You go there, you not see any carcasses that are more than 3 weeks old.
Interestingly.
So nature has a way of handling waste.
Okay.
So we have harnessed that power of organic breakdown. And in our product, we have eliminated what we call methane forming step. And this is what we're giving to the world, that you can break down your waste in your compound, in your slaughterhouse, in your piggery, in a poultry farm, without generating methane gas. And this actually is one of the biggest contributions to environmental climate adaptation. Yesterday, the president talked about lowering our nationally determined carbon contribution.
Contributions, yeah.
And one way of doing this is actually eliminating carbon or methane gas that is actually generated in every pit train in this country and in this world in general. We, through our technology, and that's what we are added for by the Ministry of Environment, Ministry of Water.
This is from Ministry of Water?
Ministry of Water. They call it EcoSafi. And it was a recognition on the outstanding innovation on waste management at the international category.
Right.
This product goes to every school and it stops that bad smell that comes from the toilet.
Okay.
And it goes to every small residential place in the country where they use septic tanks. They use what they call biodigesters and eliminates the methane forming step. And so our environment will become cleaner if we adopt this. It also helps in every aspect by ensuring that you can actually recover that water and use it back to grow your green areas, to do your green areas, to grow fruits, to grow the fence. And you could discharge this water after treatment into the storm drain.
But just how does one segregate between the solid waste, which in most cases is in existence, and the liquid at this particular point?
We don't need to segregate. Our bacteria handles a whole cow.
All right.
Not just the small material that goes in the toilet.
Okay.
A whole cow will be broken down into water, nitrogen, and carbon.
Are you serious?
I'm serious.
Okay, that's interesting.
And it also happens if you have a site like the municipal treatment plant. you use our product, it's going to stop the methane forming steps, the bad smells, and make that place so friendly that you actually can put a pack, a irrigation pack around the treatment plant, and people will never know that there was a treatment plant there.
Right.
So that's what we have contributed to nature. Yes. And I can assure you that
it is working.
It's working.
I am curious. I'd really love to try and see that. Maybe get one to my grandmother somewhere in the village to see whether it works. Well, this is commendable, so to speak. And you speak of it being an international award. So the global approach to waste management, I'd love for you to say something about that. We've seen, you know, countries as huge as the likes of America saying that they're going to pull out from the Paris Agreement and all that. And then our fear is just, where do we stand as a global fraternity in dealing with, you know, waste amid all the fears that have been projected, that in the event that we do not look at this now, then I'm afraid we are going to cost our future.
Thank you. There is a lot of collaboration between the Kenyan government and the UNEP and United Nations Environment Program. I'm part of a government incubation process for this technology to become a national, you know, what we do as a nation. And they have appointed the Kenya Climate Change, Kenya Climate Innovation Center, which is a government organization, domiciled at Strathmore, to actually incubate this idea, our product, and make it a national solution to many of our problems. So that's the government's major contribution, in that they have seen the
this would work.
Yeah, it will work. And it's not just working here locally, it's working nationally, internationally. Because we have UN, part of our client base is the UN FAO, who buy from us. Others are embassies. I can tell you, nobody's been left behind. Our technology has that ability to become, like we use salt for our food. Yes, it is extremely that important. And our product, EcoTreat.
I am curious about the pricing and the affordability of the same. Well, at the level of the government, that would be, you know, that would be very much an easy task to run with. But when we're talking about a family setup, the locals, the rural homes and everything, is it readily available? Is it affordable for them to be able to get this?
It's our products are very readily available. The cost of the requirement for one person is about 1 liter of our product, and it goes for about 400 to 500 shillings, depending on whether you need to transport for you. At 400 shillings per year, and this is not actually per year, because after 1 year, the bacteria don't know there's an expiry date on on our receipt. It continues acting on the waste. And we have sites we've treated here in Kenya, Tanzania. We are in more than 7 countries. East African countries, where we actually regularly supplying. And this product continues giving in terms of waste management. You can recycle your water, you recover all the value that you could get from that water by doing irrigation, growing fodder for animals. You could also improve your environment using our product. So that for 400 shillings or 500 shillings, let's say, is a very small cost, considering the numerous 1 kg of meat is more than 400.
Yes, I agree.
But this product is serving you for 1 to 3 years, and it is the benefit is not just like you are able to recover water, but you are able to actually ensure that you don't contribute to the environmental pollution by generating methane gas from your septic tank. So it becomes the value. We come in as an environmental
solutions.
Stewards, and so we've not put costs to punish our clients. We are just making it so easy for everybody. If you can't afford it, just talk to us. We're going to help you and achieve that.
And indeed, that help is what we're looking for, and the fact that you've partnered with the government gives us even more confidence. I guess we have brains that are out here, and we keep saying that, you know, whatever it is that has been put to us as a challenge as a people, we'll always have a solution to it. I mean, I would want to believe even human beings are part and parcel of nature. And indeed, let's take advantage of the solutions that we have. Let's all try our level best and take care of the environment. It's the only way that it gets to take care of us back. back.
Exactly.
And you know the environment can really be harsh on you if you decide to be harsh on it. So why don't you take advantage of that? Thank you so much, Daniel Wanjoki. It's a good thing that you're doing, and we certainly hope that, you know, as a global fraternity, we are able to adapt such for the sake of taking care of our environment.
And our future generations.
Yes, indeed.
They say we've been borrowed this earth from future generations, and so we should give it back to them in better condition than we found it. But in my youth, December was a very cold month.
Yes.
I remember us handling around the fireplace.
I know, enjoying having our Christmas trees. Times have changed.
But look at it.
Yeah.
It's so hot. One of the hottest days in Kenya was in November. So you really wonder where we are going. People talk about 2035 as the at the tipping point of global warming, in that after that, there's no cooling the world again. But it might be coming sooner than that. And so if you could be able to, as a country, plant trees in as many places as possible. It doesn't have to be in your chamber. You don't have to have a title to a land where to plant trees. In a way to recover the carbon that was already in the environment, stop over-exploitation of the petroleum oil, and handle our waste, because our waste is also a big contributor, but silent. Nobody really, it doesn't hit the headlines that your toilet, your school toilet, your market toilet is actually contributing a lot of carbon dioxide in the form of methane gas to the environment, and methane gas doesn't get used by anybody. No animals use it, so it just accumulates, and it creates what we're calling the greenhouse effect. Carbon dioxide will be used by plants, the trees around this area, absorbing carbon dioxide, but methane gas has been ignored. And this is something we should now go out and tell people, handle that part of your waste. That is a silent killer. Indeed, I agree. Thank you so much. You just reminded me that, you know, during my old times, we could go out there and cut our Christmas tree and come and decorate it. Today, you do not have that privilege. Where do you get a Christmas tree, honestly? It is sad. Thank you so much for tuning in. And like I said, this is the best segment that you'd ever get, because out of it, you learn lessons, you pick things that would be very, very helpful to you. And I'm sure today you have. If it's not for you, then it's for the future generations, like we have rightfully put it. My name is Linda Lela. I was doing this alongside Daniel Wanjoki, who is the CEO of EcoSave Africa. Thank you so much for being that, part of saving the environment. That's where we wind up. See you again later in the afternoon. Thank you.